What's up, everybody? Adam here, BlackTop SmackTalk. We are finally back. We took a little hiatus, had some things going on in life, some big things going on in life that we'll get to momentarily, but man, it's so good to be back. So good to be back. I'm joined here by my brothers, Charlie Hustle, Millionaire Sano, and live from the Yay area, Bruce Jackson.
What's up, Bruce?
What up?
Man, we're
Bruce, look a little excited to be back.
What are you, a mime?
Hey, I'm here, man. I'm here.
Man, so we're coming to you live from our new studio, Third Wheel Podcast, our new location. Shout out to our guy Nolan, who's producing the pod today. Big ups to you, man. Thank you so much.
The unscheduled pod.
Yeah, man. We had to get one in. It's been too long, but there's been so much stuff going on. I think let's get to it. Sano?
Where do we want to start here?
No, we're talking about just catching up.
Oh,
Our
okay.
fans kind of want to know if they don't really know us. They want to know what's going on. So Sano, Dad,
Who? Papa Gus, Papa Sano.
Papa Sano.
Yeah.
We got little Bo. How's Bo doing?
He's good. He's doing well. We're working through sleep training right now.
Man, there you
so
go.
I'm going on like 4 hours of sleep a night.
Yep, been there.
I was gonna say Adam probably knows how it
Probably
goes.
not consecutive hours either.
Nope, not at all. It's like 30 minutes at a time.
Yep.
Other than that, it's going well though.
That's good. He's everything good. He's healthy.
Yeah,
Everything
yeah,
good.
yeah.
Oh man, that's
How old is he now? 6
5.
months? 5 months?
5 months. So
Mhm.
it's easy because he was born New Year's Day.
Oh.
So it's easy to monitor
Mm-hmm.
how far he goes.
man. That's a blessing, man. That's a blessing.
That's good.
Congrats to you and Susan. That's love, man. And then Mr. Bruce, Coach Jackson, your girls team, fourth at the NCAA championships at Academy of Art, and your boys took 10th.
Correct.
Great
Correct.
accomplishment. School record for both teams, right?
No. The men have been higher than that. They've been on the podium, but the women, it's the first time we've been on the podium since we won back in 2013.
Oh man.
So carrying that NCAA trophy it was nice. A lot of accomplishments, and the great thing is every point that we scored at the meet is back. So next year it's about what we need to do to win a national title. So
man,
Nice.
that's
I was going
exciting.
to ask how many returners you got. Sounds like everybody,
everyone.
huh?
Oh, man.
I'm literally every single person that scored is, I think there was a senior on a relay, but individually, every single person that scored individually is returning.
Watch out.
Man, that's what's up.
Academy of Art.
That's good momentum going into the off-season training.
Yep.
That continuity for your team, man. That's dope, man. And you'll be back as the head cross country in the fall.
Yeah.
All right.
Head cross country is the track. That's a good question. That's a good question.
Because remember, you was on the interim, and you were Pac West Coach of the Year. Forgot to shout you out, Pac West Coach of the Year. So we had to
First year?
as first year. You know
Come
what I'm
on.
saying?
Yeah.
So and then
It's the hot coaching, right? Just like the NBA coaching carousel, right? It's hot every year. It's the same in college for a lot of sports. You never know year to year.
Is that official? That there's no more interim? When is
that? The interim tag will come off very quickly. It's just I have to serve a year. That's usually what it is.
okay.
A year, a calendar year. I mean, I'm not worried. We're good.
The interim tag is what it is, but that pay bump kick in?
The pay bump. No comment.
That's what really matters. That interim.
No comment.
Yeah.
No comment on the pay bump. But
I'll be an
we're
interim
good.
if I'm getting paid like a head coach.
right.
We're good over here. BSN and Nike's treating us well. We're good. Everything's great.
Lacoste treating you well too?
Man.
Yeah. I got a lot of Europeans on the team, so we like to rep a lot of the Euro stuff, I guess.
Mhm.
Man, I knew you had a bounce in your step once you went to swoosh. Once you got away from the 3 stripes, man. I knew you were.
Huskies soon to follow suit.
No, man, that's not gonna be for.
Never.
That's not gonna
Never.
be for a minute. But then we got my man Charlie Hustle, one of the busiest people I know, got doing the cracking at the new stadium, and you're flourishing over there. Then you got Mariners, still got Sounders.
Mm-hmm.
Everything going good. I know we barely see you,
Hawks,
so I know
Sounders, Storm,
and the Storm. Yeah, Storm. New arena's doing good.
Yeah, it's real good. Yeah, Sean Kemp threw the first pitch out at the Mariner game today.
How was it? How did he look?
He's looking thick.
No.
With 2 C's.
Oh my gosh.
No, I mean, how did
You remember when they had that thing when they had the Kraken draft and they put that extra small shirt on Sean?
Yeah, I remember.
They could have got him a bigger Mariner jersey, man. I mean, I guess he is 6'10", probably like 3+.
Right.
So they don't make Mariner jerseys that size. Shout out to Sean Kemp.
He's definitely not coming on the pod anytime soon.
I got to work. Yeah, I got to work an event the other day with when they had George Karl's Hall of Fame induction.
Man, that's
So it was George and Gary and Sean
and you were in their suite, right?
Yeah,
You were working
yeah,
with them. That's
yeah.
dope.
Was
Man.
Chris Daniels was a good. He got to talk to him for a long time, and he's the guy in the know. He knows what's going on.
Yeah.
So that was cool. George was cool. He was fun. He was talking mess with everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot bigger guy than I thought.
George.
Yeah, I guess he was a big time.
He was a player, right?
Yeah,
Probably like
For
6'3",
UNC.
6'4".
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Man, that's dope.
That was fun.
That's dope, man. And I guess for me, 2 kids finishing up freshman year in kindergarten. My boy is a 4.0 student,
Taller than you too, right?
just about taller than me, but he's a 4.0 student at Garfield, and my daughter's flourishing in kindergarten. My wife doing good. So man, we all good over here, man. We all good.
Good.
But
Everybody doing well.
it's been a crazy NBA season. A lot has happened since the last time we all got together. I think the last time we all got together, we were all in person.
Celtics were under 500,
Oh, for sure, they were struggling.
and now they're in
They
the
were.
finals.
But it's been a very entertaining NBA playoffs, and it's been all that I thought. It's been a closer series than NBA Finals than I've thought. As we all know, it's tied up 2-2. Game 5 tomorrow. We're recording this pod on Sunday evening, and game 5's tomorrow. Huge game 5.
So when you say closer,
I was going to say that's what's crazy about a playoff series. Someone could sweep somebody, but every game is close.
Right.
Close.
Or it could be 2-2, and none of the
every
games
game's a
were close,
blowout.
which is crazy. Because the series is close. It's neck and neck, right? But the games,
Mhm.
as well as the whole playoffs, I think it's been a record number of whatever it's considered a blowout, 8 or
Yeah,
more,
it's been-
12 or
Right.
more, whatever the blowout meaning is.
I
But-
think
So
three of the 4 games have been close. That's what I'm saying. There's the
Yeah.
Celtics got blown out in game 2, but game 1 they was losing. They had
Game
to
one was a
pull away.
giveaway
They had
game.
to pull away in the second half, in the fourth quarter. Game 2 they got blown out. Game 3 was close because the Warriors came back,
came back. Yeah.
and then another fourth quarter, and then last game 4, they were up 7 in the fourth quarter.
They've all kind of had that same. I mean, there's been different runs, but they've all kind of had. It's been close, and then one team kind of pulls away at the end a little bit in each game, all 4 games.
Mhm.
They
I
stretch
mean,
it
that
out.
that first game, down 14 to start the fourth, win the game by 14.
Right.
Mhm.
So they were getting blown out,
That's a
but then they
crazy
blew
run.
them out.
That's a crazy run.
That's
Fourth
wild.
quarter,
Yeah.
40-12 or whatever it was in the fourth quarter. That should
Some-
never happen
You know,
in finals.
all the
games.
games have been double digit wins. No
Even
one's had
game
a single
4?
digit wins.
Game 4
Yeah.
got up to 10.
Ended up, they
Think
went
so.
up, went past 10. Yeah.
But I mean, they were closer, and then the teams just pulled away at the end. But the games were
Yeah.
actually like closer.
Right.
And even going into the finals, I think there was like a 2-week period of NBA games every night, and like no games were.
Yeah,
like,
there
close.
were. Yeah, Sando had mentioned that in our group chat, that there were no games that were close. It was.
It was- I think was it the Eastern Finals?
Well, both. I think it was both sides.
It might have been
Both
both sides, but there was one specifically. I think it might have been the Milwaukee-Boston series. It went 7, right? But
Mhm.
each game, like there was no good games the whole 7 games. I feel like, especially the last game was like a 28-point blowout in
Mhm.
Game 7.
Mhm.
And there was one game Milwaukee won by like 40.
No, yeah, there was one close game that kind of won the strip when
Right.
Drew
Oh
Holiday
yeah,
had the
that
2
was
rips.
it. Yep, that was it.
That was it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's been interesting playoffs.
through 4 games. Well, what are we thinking, Bruce? What are your? Just want to get your guys' impressions after 4 games. You know, what's kind of stood out for you for both teams, Bruce?
I mean, I'll start for Golden State. Just Seth Curry. I mean, I'm not the
You
most.
showed him love.
Seth Curry?
I was gonna say,
You showed him
You say-
love.
you
That's
say
what's
Seth
up.
Curry?
can you
Yeah.
repeat that, Bruce?
Yeah. I'm again, just because I dislike a person's style of play doesn't necessarily mean I don't think they're a good player. He's just not my cup of tea, you know. So, but he's been playing well, obviously out of his mind. Best player for the Warriors. I think it's interesting. I know this has come up in other pods, but it's just interesting to see, Curry step up to that role where he's finally the best player on a team that might actually be the worst of the two teams, and he's never had to play that role. Like a LeBron had carried so many of those garbage teams in the Eastern Finals, and I feel like this is the worst, maybe overall, the least talented of the teams that Curry has had in the NBA Finals, and he's really carrying them on his shoulders. Because Klay's not playing that well, Draymond's not playing that well. And Wiggins playing awesome. Okay, and I would say maybe
role.
I would say the collection of role players in their totality aren't playing as good as the collection of role players that they've had in the past, and so it's just it's been good to see. Curry really show up just like LeBron did for all those years in a row. So I've enjoyed that. I guess that really sticks out to me for that. And then also I never thought Golden State's bigs would play this well. Kevon Looney is just, I'm thoroughly amazed. I did not think that's probably the second biggest thing. I can't believe how Boston's getting outplayed by Looney or whoever just mainly Looney. Just like, I just thought he was, I'll be frank, I thought he was trash, just straight trash, but something's happened in these playoffs and he's gone to another level. I remember Chuck, I was laughing because Kevon Looney had a damn commercial out here. I was like, why is Kevon Looney getting the commercials and stuff? But before the season started, but he's earned it. He's killing. So I don't know. That's me for Golden State. And then on just the Celtics side, the thing that sticks out to me. It's just at times they fall in love with the 3 and jump shooting when they have the opportunity to seize control of games. And then they get in these lulls where it's just bad shot after bad shot after bad shot after bad shot. I've done that in multiple games. And then just how, Tatum's first team all NBA, but he hasn't looked like a first team all NBA. I'll say it, man. What is he shooting? Like 34% from 2, 20 something, 25% from 3. Like I thought it was going to be one game, and I get it. Like you look at the box score and see that the points, it's this super inefficient scoring, lots of bad turnovers, bad decision making. He's the number one culprit of falling in love with the jump shot or jump shooting when he has maybe an offensive advantage on his defender on the other end. Those things have stood out to me, but overall good for the Celtics is at times they really can clamp down defensively, and I didn't know they were going to be able to do that with Golden State, and they definitely proved that they are, the best defensive team, I think in the league. So
shout out to that Warrior defense. Like it's all just Tatum making bad decisions, man. The Warriors are the second best defense in the league. But though everything you're describing about Tatum is kind of sounds like what you hate about Curry. Falls in love with the jump shot, a lot of bad turnovers. But you seem to like Tatum, but we don't like Curry. I'm just seeing some parallels.
Have I not been on him?
Yeah.
Have I not been on him? You guys have been. I remember getting comments from people like, I can't believe you're the fan of the team and you're attacking your number one player.
Whether they've been up 20 or down.
I've been on him every game. I've been on him. Like, what's going on? So, this is what it is. Go ahead.
Yeah, I saw one of the stats that we saw was Curry's average points per game average is higher than Tatum's field goal percentage.
I saw that.
Yeah,
that's actually pretty crazy,
That's
considering
accurate.
the level of difficulty of shots that Curry takes.
34.3 points per game, and Tatum's shooting 34.
Oh my gosh.
34-1.
And that's
Tatum must
that's
just have a lot
wild
of
stat.
attempts or a lot of free throws because his points per game is still in the 20s, right?
Tatum 22.
Yeah, so he's just getting either a lot of volume of shots or
That's a lot of
a lot of
shots.
free throws.
82
shots.
shots.
Yeah, because
And
there's
a
not
lot
too
of
many other
shots
guys.
not at the rim. That's
Yeah.
the thing. A lot of shots not at the rim. Like,
I mean, I would agree with you on that, but except it seems like it's not like they're falling in love with it. That's their game plan. They've been doing that the whole playoffs. And
it's
some nights
killing
they
me the whole
fall
playoffs,
and they
that's
win
the-
by 30, and then some
it's
nights they
killing
don't.
me. And that's why, like you said, the feast or famine, right? So you've said there's been either a lot of blowouts or there's nothing in between.
Right.
And so I just wish, I understand as a young team, sometimes you got to assess the flow of the game. Like the last 5 minutes of the last game was the most maddening part of the game I've probably watched all playoffs. Was just that they were up in the fourth with 5:15 left. You don't need Golden State ended up getting up by 3, and then they proceeded just 1-3 after another. That's one thing I hate about the new NBA. You can chip away and trust that your defense get a stop. Aren't you the number one defensive team? Why do you feel the need like I've got to hit the 3 to be the man to tie the game when there's over 4 minutes left in the game? You can easily go for the basket, get 3 the hard way, or maybe make it a 1-point game, go down. But a lot of times, because they're a younger team, and Windhorst made this comment, the Celtics are probably the better team, but they're just young enough to make dumb decisions to let the Warriors hang around. And that was one of those sequences where it was just 1-3 after another, after another, after another, after another, where they could have been gone. I think there was a point where Marcus Smart penetrated deep. Literally, I thought he was going to finger roll at the rim and threw it way back for a 3.
To Horford?
Like take. I think it was to Horford. I think it was actually. Yeah. I don't know.
I mean,
it's
when you're
there's-
playing against maybe the greatest offensive weapon in the history of basketball, it's just kind of tough.
They're
you know?
playing the Warriors style.
So, just a real quick stat for you guys. The Celtics have attempted 151 threes this series. Golden State has attempted 165. They've both hit the same amount, 64. So it's just interesting. But I think, kind of to Bruce's point, it's when these shots come.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's when these threes are coming. You know what I mean? So, Santa, what are your
Also
your
the shots
impressions?
themselves. I mean, I agree with a lot of what Bruce said. I mean, I think we talked about this in the chat. The second best players for the Warriors have been Wiggins and Looney. Which, if you told me that before the series, I'd be like, this is 3-0 Boston. Right? You wouldn't think that this would be a tied series. But again, all the credit in the world goes to Bruce's guy, Steph. He's carried him. I mean,
he's averaging more points than the second and third leading scorer on the Warriors combined.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
So, I mean, I think we were talking, Charlie, we were talking in the chat about if this is their most impressive run.
Oh, we'll get to that.
Right.
Well, that's a question I
Well,
have for
run
you guys.
or championship, I kind of look as different.
Well, hold on.
Okay,
Hold
yeah.
that thought. That's one of my questions for you guys later. So hold that thought about
right.
that.
I mean, just getting kind of, I won't go into detail on that, but just saying, like, to me, it seems like it's more Curry. Like, to me, this is Curry's run. This is his most impressive run that we've seen. For Boston, I mean, Bruce kind of said it all, right? Like, other than them falling in love, like, that's their game plan, I think. They've been doing that from the opening tip of the playoffs to now. They've been shooting threes at a higher clip than I think what I expected. It seems like what everybody else expected. But the games, they've been making them. I mean, we saw what happened in game 1 when they outscored, 40-12 in the fourth quarter and came back and
that was Horford had a career night,
Yeah,
right?
and I agree. I don't, as Adam said, I don't mind them when they happen. It's just I'm surprised by that stat that you shared, Adam, because it doesn't seem like the Warriors, but the Warriors take them at better times of the game. It goes kind of more with the flow of the offense. Like it's just the fourth quarter, and again, there's moments of the game where they fall too much in love with the 3, and it's a really bad time to just keep going on. And the Warriors, and I think a difference is veteran players.
I was going to say
who've been on a playoff run understand when when to do
Right.
these, when to take when a good shot's a good shot in the flow game, when's a bad shot about, and this again is still new to younger Boston Celtics.
I was gonna say this has been the Warriors' style for years, right? For this whole Steph Curry, Clay run, Steph, Clay, and Gay or Dre run. So the experience, I think, is what's showing up here. It's like this is how Golden State plays. Boston, I don't know if they're falling into kind of a trap or if they're just playing the same way they've been playing. But you're right, like the way that they're taking these threes and the actual shots that they're taking have not been compared to what Golden State's been doing. Plus, they have Curry, like you were saying.
Well, it looks like the Warriors run offense.
Right,
the
it's in the
Celtics look
offense.
like AAU almost.
Right,
sometimes.
it's in the offense. That's what I'm saying. It's like it's what they've been doing.
A lot of ISO ball.
Right,
a lot of ISO ball. They
Exactly.
try to hunt. They hunt.
Yep. Well, because both those guys are so good individually.
But there's not like a lot. So it's just it's 1 out, 4 in. So guys are just standing around, just watching 1-on-1. Tatum or Brown go 1-on-1.
And exactly, Adam. And again, if it's so much ISO ball, and you've got 2 very athletic wings that can get to a spot that can penetrate, that are young, that got bounce, right? Everyone keeps emphasizing Celtics more athletic, springy, more athletic team, and we're playing ISO ball. Why are we playing ISO ball to a contested jump shot? And this is my argument, Tatum. If you go to the cup. And there's times where he does try to impose his physical will, and him and Jaylen. Jaylen Brown's been doing it, but Jaylen Brown is all gas, no brakes. Like once he starts going, he's like Jamal Williams' black hole, and just keeps going and going and going. But that's my thing. It's like if we're going to play ISO ball, then there's I don't understand why Tatum has kind of settled into dribble. Contested three instead of going all the way to the rim or something.
I mean, their offense hasn't been their offense hasn't been consistent all year either.
No.
Boston's right, like they've disappeared on offense.
Well, they need a playmaker.
They have their
Adam
lulls.
will argue with me, but I love Marcus Smart. That is not the answer. I need a playmaker, and you can see it you can see in the offense and their assist numbers and things like that. But it is what it is. You can't deal with that now.
He's the heart of the team.
I mean, they're averaging more assists than the Warriors right now.
A lot of that's Tatum, though. Tatum had a 13 assist game.
Yeah. No, but I'm saying as a collective, they're averaging 27 assists to 22.8. So much for your playmaker there.
Tatum's assist is very high right now.
Chuck, what are we thinking from you? What are you thinking?
Oh man!
After 4 games,
Curry's really just playing out of his mind, man. Like people are saying, a lot of people said Game 4 was the best game he's ever played in his career. With considering what's at stake, right? You lose that game, series is over. Yeah. And not like Curry needs anything to help his legacy, career, or anything, but just keep on adding to it. Right. Keep on adding to the first ballot Hall of Famer. Right. So you get that MVP, be even better. But you lose, it's like, damn, that sucks. Right. People will be on him a little bit, but
man, I don't think after this run though, win or lose, I think if they lose,
now he's not going to get it. Now I think if they lose this series, the blame's going to go to the
others.
cast. Yeah,
the others. Well, because he's averaging 34.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, he's doing everything,
and he might average It could even boost that even higher.
Right.
What if he hits a walk-off in Game 7 to win the title?
Oh,
damn.
I might keel over.
That'll be some shit.
While you guys are in Jamaica,
none of it would be surprising. I mean, Well, actually, I leave that day. That game's probably at 5. My flight's at like 9, so I should be all right.
I'll still be in Jamaica.
Catch it on the
I'll
flight
be in
home.
SeaTac throwing a couple back. But yeah, I mean, and I got to give shout out to Boston, man. I've been Boston hating all season. They really turned it around. The energy has shifted.
Correct.
And yeah, man, I just didn't think that offensively throughout all of it, but especially with the finals, I didn't think that they offensively could hang with the Warriors. They might be averaging more points per game than the Warriors in the finals.
105.5 for the Warriors and 105.3.
Oh, so it's
for the
close.
Celtics.
Pretty close.
It's real close.
All their stats.
We knew they could play D, but I was like, they haven't
identical.
played an offense like this Warrior offense. And now the Warrior offense, we're seeing like, it looks like it's got some holes. No other team could really, like Dallas had a good defensive rating, but they couldn't really show like the holes in maybe that Warriors might have on offense, right? Clay was doing his thing. Everybody, guys were balling, You know, Gary Payton had even had some good games previous to this series, and he's been kind of like offensively just lost or MIA at times, but that's not his role. They don't depend on him for that. But yeah, Wiggins, like someone said, man, you show this tape of Wiggins in the finals and compare it to the guy that was on the T-Wolves a couple of years ago, like no way that's the same guy.
Right.
You know, so obviously he's been huge. One of the first people to have a 15-15 game in years, right? In the finals, because he had 18-16. Like that doesn't happen too often, right? You would have thought Draymond could have did that. You know, that game when after Draymond got suspended against the Cavs, against the Cavs, then he came back and had 30 in Game 7.
Mm-hmm.
They said he hasn't had 30 in a game since. I don't know if that was in every single game, but I heard that. Which I mean, he doesn't score 30 often.
Yeah.
In that game, he had like 6 threes.
I don't even remember the last. I don't think
since.
has he even had like 25 since then?
Well, not this year, but I'm just saying, yeah, he might not have had 30 in a game since that Game 7 finals game.
If they would have won, he would have been Finals MVP.
Be shocked.
Right.
I wouldn't be shocked if it was true. If he has.
That's wild. That's wild to think about.
Yeah. I mean, but you don't expect scoring. Like you were saying, you don't expect scoring from him.
From Dre, yeah. Now I mean, what, 1 for 7 on threes last game?
So with Draymond, since we're on the topic of him, he's 6 of 26 from the field, 0 of 9 from 3.
0 of 9 from 3.
He has 18 fouls and 17 points.
How many assists?
He's shooting 23% from the field. He's leading the team in assists.
Okay.
Almost 6.
Well, Steph can't pass to himself, so.
And he was getting
past that many people.
And so he actually got benched.
Right.
Yeah.
He got
in the fourth
he got
quarter.
subbed out.
They were doing offense defense.
Even before that, they just subbed him out for a while, and then they kind of brought him in and did offense defense.
So
because their offense, I mean, they literally don't have to guard him. So their offense really takes a hit when he's in because he's just, when you put him in, like Looney can score obviously around the paint, but you have those two guys in the game together, it really hurts offensively, the Warriors. So it makes it easier for a defense to plan and stack.
Right. I think the thing that it's kind of been getting to me is, I guess, would be the defense against Curry. It's like, you're banking on him beating you, and then you're playing the other straight up. I guess from my perspective, would you not blitz him? Because he's looking for the switch also. Take advantage of Horford or Robert Williams or Grant Williams.
Or go underneath.
Right. Or they
go underneath and he's looking for that.
So it's like, wouldn't
That's
you
what he
blitz him?
wants.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you blitz and get the ball out of his hands and make others try and beat you, especially if Draymond's on the court? Just a little wrinkle that I'm thinking like, huh. But I mean, he's so fluid and quick, and their offense is boom, 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 that he's getting pretty much whatever he wants.
He's so good at like a John Morant splitting that double,
Right.
just knifing through.
But then, like, the ball's out of his hands. He's constant.
I was going to say
motion.
he's also really good off the ball too.
So he's not wearing down, but he's running all over the place. Derek White, Jaylen Brown, Tatum, Smart, they're all chasing him.
Derek White's had a pretty good series.
He has.
I don't know what his stats are, but just his impact on the games have been very huge for them.
And I think Curry's stood out a lot. I think Wiggins' defense, he's made it tough on Tatum. Tatum's shot selection has been a little dicey. He's settling for the mid-range pull-up. Or, instead of just when he gets a switch, like you said, Bruce, just attack it. Not settle and shoot over the top. Like, all right, go turn your back, put your shoulder into him. Go to the block.
I mean, that's the same things people would say about LeBron. Like, bro, you always settle for the jumper, but it wears you down to drive to the hole every time.
But I think it's just
tiring.
Picking and choosing.
Yeah.
Because you can tell.
It's easier to just.
On Tatum, a lot of his jumpers have been short. A lot or long misses. It's like there's no legs. You know what I'm saying? So those are a couple things that stood out for me. But, what's actually fascinating to me right now is looking at these numbers, at these stats, at the raw stats, points per game, rebounds, assists. They're all super close. Shooting percentages, they're all super close. So to me, it's kind of an even series. In Boston, really, they respond well to adversity. They haven't lost two games in a row, all playoffs. So I'm very intrigued by this next game to see how they come out and see if they, throw a little wrinkle or two in there and just switch it up. You know, it's like, you know, Charlie said, the offense is ISO. It's just ISO. One pass, screen, all right, then let's ISO. When there's constant movement, as we've seen with the Warriors are getting great shots.
Mm-hmm.
They're just not knocking them down like they normally do. Clay's struggling, but he's getting some good looks.
Well, he just pulls, right?
But he's getting
Yeah.
but Clay, like healthy Clay, pre-double injury Clay, he's knocking those down.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So
And it's crazy with like for any
yeah.
other person almost in NBA history, Curry's shots aren't really good shots.
Yeah, that was kind of my. That was
But they're like,
yeah.
you know,
But for
he
him,
still gets them.
right.
As long as he has a window of openness, he's good.
Right.
So what are we thinking? Like, we'll start with Bruce. What are we thinking? What are some X factors for the best of three? So it's a best of three now. What are X factors for each team? If they want to take home this championship, what are X factors for each team?
For me, I think still the availability, I think, is huge for Robert Williams and how much he can play. I think that's a big X factor. Because when you were talking about the wrinkles defensively, like blitzing Curry and the switch and stuff, and you kind of threw out. Yeah, there was a couple of moments where Curry has been, because of the switch, has had Robert Williams, and Robert Williams has actually done a very good job of swarming him and being over the top of him and making that. But he just is such a defensive presence, knowing that, hey, we can, if someone goes by us, we've got this anchor in there. And as much as I've been on Horford's head, I mean, because for me, like, other than that the fourth quarter of game one, that Horford, before that whole entire game, he was getting absolutely destroyed by Looney. And, for the most part, he's been okay. But I think, the X factor availability of Robert Williams and how much he can play and how many minutes he can get, because when he's on the floor, it's a big difference. Rebounding, shot blocking, just the presence, tip ins and things like that. I think that's a big X factor down the road for them. And if we're going to do for Golden State, I mean, the moment that if Clay gets Clay, like, it's a wrap. Like, you guys think it's just over. Like,
you saw it in game 3 a little bit.
Scored
he
20,
did.
right?
He had like 25.
Yeah. But I think it's just a more efficient shooting Clay. I think it's just a wrap. I think it's done, because, I mean, you never got scoring from Draymond anyway, and he's still actually doing pretty well playmaking as far as assists goes, and he's still a presence defensively. I mean, his offense is just more trash than normal. But, like, if they get that third score Clay, the next 2 or 3 or whatever they need to win, I think that's going to be huge for them. So,
right, Sano, what are we thinking?
I would say the same. I was going to say, it sounds weird to say it, but Bruce already did, that Clay is the X factor. You could also throw Jordan Poole in there.
Yeah,
he's been struggling. He's on
defense, struggling defensively.
Defense, he's we were saying in the chat, he's pretty much unplayable. But if he gives you one game of, like, how he was against Denver, or a couple of those
He
Dallas
averaged
games,
17 a game in the regular season, right?
right, or even that, but he's not even sniffing that in this
12.
series, right? So if you get a somewhat of the old Clay or somewhat of the first round Jordan Poole, the series is over in 2 games, I think. If Steph,
continues what he's doing, and then in addition to,
right, they just need that guy to step up. Like, that's exactly what Bruce was saying. You got to have that second guy to step up, because who knows how long Curry's going to be able to do this, right?
All right.
So, I mean, for Boston, we've run out of things to say about their offense. Their defense has been there. The offense, I mean, it's not really an X factor. It's just whether they make or miss the threes, because it doesn't seem like they're going to change that game plan, right? So, if it's falling, they could easily win the next 2. If it's not falling, they could easily lose the next 2, right? So,
right.
I say one X factor is we know a Boston Celtic fan that lives in the Bay Area. Is he going to attend a game? You know, I'm just curious. They might need him. They might need him.
Hey,
you know,
I was down at the arena, Thrive City, and they won that
Bruce.
game.
What's up,
They
bro?
won that game. I was there. I was there.
Outside, I don't know if
probably-
that counts.
I know. Hey, tickets are. I looked for.
I know
tomorrow.
it's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. So like out, being outside the arena.
You can't go down there and flash
can do
that NCAA trophy and get some kind
get
of discount at the door.
No, but I was the only. Hey, I was. Olivia will tell you. I was in the heart, in the jungle, man.
Mhm.
People were giving me a lot of stuff.
Belly of the
So,
beast.
Belly of the beast.
Yeah, no. For them, man, it's a lot of it is Boston's turnovers. You know, you see when they get a turnover, bam, Warriors are off to the races. That's their time to get some buckets when Boston's not set up, and it feels like they damn near hit a three every time Boston turns it over. I mean, it's not exactly.
It's like the timing of the turnovers too.
They turn it over.
Yes.
Sometimes Marcus Smart is just like, here, you want it? Like, I'll throw it right to you.
Mm-hmm.
And then bam, Curry catches it. Oh, thanks, bam, three, or a layup or something. And then, with the team as explosive as the Warriors, they take every advantage that you can give them, and you give them those little things. And with the Warriors, it's can the others give, can someone else drop a 20? Or can we get, how many guys can get in double figures, to help Steph with the load?
Right.
So Steph might have to drop a 50 piece. He might have to do it.
Now, as crazy as it sounds, Jason Tatum's an X factor to me. His shot selections, he's been struggling all series. I mean, even the games he scored high, he had game 2, I think he had high 20s. It wasn't efficient. He's taking some tough shots, and then he's always looking for calls. Like, he got to just put his head down and go, I think, and just kind of when I was coaching, I used to tell scorers who were struggling with their shot, get some easy ones. Get to the free throw line. See the ball go in the basket. Something easy. And then do that a couple of times, and then that'll just kind of open up the game for you a little bit. And then I think so him, and then I think, man, as he's been getting roasted, but I think Draymond's a huge X factor. If he will look to be aggressive on offense and not just play hot potato with the ball, if he looks to score and show that aggressiveness, it's 2-0. Easy. If he has a couple good offensive games,
He can make a layup,
or he might
slam it off the backboard.
or he might have 8 to 12 points, but those are 8 to 12 more points than what he's been giving.
It looks like he's throwing an alley-oop off the glass to somebody.
Man,
I mean, he's
It's
averaging
bad.
he's averaging 4 points a game.
it's bad.
He gets the ball and like immediately looks for someone to
Wait.
run to give the ball to, like dribble handoff
Adam,
somebody.
How many points per game is he averaging? You said?
He's averaging 4.3 points a game.
So that means he's averaging 4.25 fouls a game.
Right.
Because you said 18, right? 18 fouls?
Yes, 18 fouls.
18 fouls?
That's crazy.
He's
So
averaging
wait,
as many
18,
points as he has
4.5.
pods during
Yeah,
the
right.
game.
That's it.
4.5.
I've been
4.5
listening.
fouls. Damn.
I've heard a couple of them.
The new one, he talked about how he felt when he got put on the bench.
I haven't heard that
Yeah,
one
he
yet.
responded well. He goes, no, the coach should never have to check with me. You want to put me down? Like, yeah, I'm not happy with it, but you don't need to check with me.
Right.
He's like, you've seen way too many times in NBA history where a team won't bench a guy because of his status or his contract when you know that guy shouldn't be playing,
Yeah. Shout out to Steve Kerr.
which was actually a good thing for him to say. He's like, yeah, I want to be in there and I want to help my team. But, we won, so that helped. But,
One thing he's always done well is talk.
yeah.
I mean, whether it's during the game or after the game, he's always said the right things.
So real quick, before we do our last predictions, we alluded to a question that Sano brought up. Man, Charlie brought this up in our group chat. Would this be the Warriors' most impressive title? When you think about their three, this would be their fourth title.
Fourth title.
2015,
Yeah.
17, 18, right?
Yeah.
And when we think about that, this will be their fourth title. Think of everything they've had to go through, especially like the last 2 years, and then with injuries and stuff like that. This playoff run, this finals, like Steph's finals run, looking at the supporting cast, what they have and have not been giving. Would this be the most impressive title? I mean, Bruce, what do you think?
No.
Really?
No. Number one. First one.
You think that was more? Do you think that was impressive?
Yeah.
Over
Yep.
the LeBron team. Remember who
just
LeBron had in the finals?
I do remember what Vaughn has, but it was just the first run unproven. Different cast of characters, different body. I think
Better
I think it's
competition.
different now because there's a higher level of expectation. You've got championship medal. You've got the organization has been here now and knows like this is.
But they
We
didn't
are,
have championship expectations really this year.
This year, all we heard was
They weren't a title favorite by any means.
we heard Phoenix, we
I
heard
picked them.
we
You
heard
did.
LA.
But like you look at like Vegas odds,
Yeah.
or,
Yeah.
And I mean more
I would pick them
like
in the bracket
it's a
either.
championship organization. It's not that far removed from that. I think it's just there's a different culture.
Mhm.
Like where before that
Fair.
first run, that was
Mhm.
nothing near that
Right.
culture, as far as that. So I don't know. I think this is the first run to me is more impressive because it's new and it was building and it was very organic with people they drafted and developed and things like that, and it got to that point and got to the promised land. I'm a little more impressed with that, definitely more than the KD era like that. So this is good. This is one that's good to me. If they get it would be good. It'd probably be meshed in between that first run and then the two that they got with KD. So
What do you think, Santa?
When Charlie first brought it up in the group chat, I was like, no way. But I kind of see your point.
It's complex. You can
I-
look at it from
It
different
depends,
angles.
right? I was gonna say it depends on how you look at it because
It's very validating.
supporting cast, like as a team, this is definitely not their best team.
100%.
Competition that they faced in the West, definitely not the best competition they faced. In the finals, not the best competition they faced in the finals.
Well, defensively, this team could be historically
Maybe
good.
defense, but if you put this Boston team
Yeah.
against the Cavs, those
Yeah.
LeBron James teams, there's an argument.
They
I
might
guess
not
there's
been
an
able-
argument
Yeah,
they
yeah.
could hang, but the reason I think it is really one of the most impressive is just Steph. Like it's his most impressive run to me.
Mm-hmm.
He had help obviously with Jordan Poole in the first round, a little bit in the second round, and then Dallas. Whatever that series was kind of.
Poole's had some games, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, in this finals run, all we've been doing, and not just us, the media, we've been talking about Clay. Jordan Poole has been unplayable. What happened to Draymond Green? He's more worried about podcasts. Wiggins, like we were saying, Wiggins and Looney are the two
Unsung.
right. They're,
Mm-hmm.
If you, like I was saying earlier, if you had told me that Wiggins and Looney were going to be the second and third best players in this on the Warriors, I'd be like, this series is over. This is 4-1 or this is a sweep. So to me, that says more about Steph
Yeah.
than it does about the actual like Warriors team.
He is the Warriors, He
Right.
said maybe the most beloved athlete in Bay Area history.
right.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I mean, I just think after everything they went through, when they went through the injuries, right? And they're all older. And so, yeah, they're not as good. But for them to come back and still be at this level with all the injuries they've had, when people were like, man, I think their window was closed. They were done winning titles. A lot of people thought that. I thought that. And like the one year when Clay was out and, it was like, oh, this is Curry. What is Curry going to do by himself? He killed. He had like 30 a game, but the team wasn't successful. And like you're talking about Looney, like I remember watching Looney in college. Like I didn't think this guy was going to be in the NBA, let alone in the NBA finals balling.
Right.
Like, he was just a jag, just a guy to me in college.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I think it's because the first one, yeah, they obviously Kyrie was hurt, Kevin Love was hurt, so they beat the collection of guys that the Cavs had, and then the other two with KD, and this is just their real nucleus, obviously with the Wiggins, right? But that's why it's just really impressive that they came back. Clay's still doing it after 2 years of injuries.
Right.
And Curry's as good as he's ever been. you
Right.
know?
I think so. I'm in agreement with you. I think this would be the most impressive one.
And
But
yeah, what is impressive? It could also be the most validating.
most
Like,
impressive.
damn.
Right, just based off of kind of like everything you had said, and I think Curry's finals run with him going, raising his game to a whole new level, but his teammates
Out of necessity.
struggling.
Yep, out of necessity.
I think that's what makes it most impressive for me. So, with that being said, what's our predictions? We got Game 5 tomorrow, so it's best of 3. What are we thinking, Bruce?
I mean, I'm going for Boston, man.
But no,
What do you think's gonna happen?
But
Give
you
us
know,
the next 3 games.
You know it's over.
I'm going for Boston tomorrow. Boston's winning tomorrow. Okay. No, you know what? The next 3 games, I think Golden State will win tomorrow. I think they'll end that streak. I think Boston will go and win at home, and then unfortunately, I just don't like this offense. What's been happening? I think Golden State will win in 7.
It's
hard
home.
for me to say that. The analyst says that, but the fan, I'll be cheering for a different result. But yes, I think Golden State in 7.
Okay, Sano.
2-0
sweep over in 6.
Yeah, I think they're gonna end it in Boston. Oof. I mean, the reason why I think that is Boston. We were saying earlier they played 5 good quarters in this series.
Boston?
Yeah. They won game 1 off of playing 10 minutes of good basketball. And that was great basketball, actually.
Well, they were up at that halftime, but yeah.
But they were down 14 going into the 4th.
Yeah.
Right? So, I mean,
I'll counter with
they
shouldn't have won. They shouldn't have. I'm telling you, like, it should. I know you were going to say it should be 3-1, but that last game, that last 5 minutes, was just literally Boston it was the give me back for the 4th quarter explosion that they had in game 1.
Right.
Because they had no business. Boston had no business losing the last game.
I mean, you can say the same thing about game 1 in Golden State. I guess that's what makes it even, though. That's why we have a 2-2 series, right?
With everything, just with all the stats, just looking.
And
like
I was going to say, like the sentiment of us, of all the media, is like Golden State has this. It's a wrap, and they're probably they got to be the favorite with the two home games.
They are the favorite,
but it's a 2-2 series. The stats are basically dead even, and we've seen Boston do this. They won, on the road huge game 6s when they were down 3-2 to take that back to Boston and win game 7. So we've seen this before. So I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if Boston won this series, but I do think the way that the series has gone, that the Golden State is going to ride it out and win it in 6.
All right.
I look right into the camera. Dub City in 6, baby. You know what it is.
Relax over there, bro.
All right.
Chill, bro.
Dub
Chill.
City, bitch.
Nah, bro.
Man, I don't know, something about it. Like, Charlie asked at the beginning of the series how I felt, and I was like, man, I'm sticking with Boston. He asked me how I felt at the beginning of the Milwaukee series, Miami. I said the same thing. I'm gonna stick with it. Boston in 7. I just have a weird feeling. I'm not 100% confident, but I think they can do it. I think they'll take it in 7.
Steph Curry loses game 7 at home. Damn, what a bum if that happens.
Cut him.
Damn, legacy shot. He goes from like the 8th best player of all time to like
be
38.
I wish I'd be back in the outside the arena holding a bum sign for him. They did that.
Cash Bruce outside.
All right, so man, there you have it. We got
2 dubs, 2 C's.
Yeah.
Or did he take?
Bruce picked the Warriors.
3 dubs.
3
3 dubs, 1 C.
Man, I'm sticking with the Celtics. So
3-1. That's what the series should be right now. 3-1 Golden State.
3-1 Boston.
3-1 Golden State. 3-1 Golden State's not always a good thing.
Oh, ouch.
Had to get a shout out in there.
Man, so just wrapping this up, man. It's
I got a question real quick before
Yeah.
we wrap it up. Not looking too far ahead, but to next season. Say Golden State wins the series, or actually, even if they don't, whether they win or lose, are they done? Like,
No.
is this the end of their championship window?
No.
Based on what you've seen from Clay, from Draymond,
I think you give Clay a healthy offseason.
you think that's what it is?
I mean, he's also going to be 33, 34 after 2 major. He'll never be the same guy.
No, but
A lot of it's on the
you spent the
defensive end.
time rehabbing instead of working on your game. That's different.
Big time.
You know, so I think they'll be back. But the West is going to
As a championship contender?
Yeah. They'll be strong. The West will be as strong as ever, I think, barring injury.
I mean, Steph's going to be 35 next year. Clay said 33.
Yeah,
Draymond, I can't remember, 33, 34.
He's
But
like,
then-
plays like he's 47.
Yeah.
But
he
then
looks like he's
they got some
57.
young guns in the
Right.
Right,
in
but
the
that's
wings.
later on down the
Kuminga,
line.
Moody. They still got James Wiseman.
Who?
They got they got some guys, man. So I do think their window's not.
And I think those
closed.
other
I'm not
guys are
saying it's
good,
closed,
but they're
I'm
not
just-
Clay, Dre.
No.
back in their prime
I'm
good.
saying
Yeah.
I'm saying they're
Championship
waiting in the wings. So I think they could give them some games
Mm.
while those guys either rest or whatever. I think it would be good for their development.
It's a good question. I mean, if I had to wager, I would say no, or that they wouldn't win anymore. But I thought that already. And
Right.
Here we are.
I mean, when you're saying championship and contender, I think they'll be one of the top 4 teams.
They could be a home court advantage team,
100%.
but it's a new era.
Steph's ready to pass that torch to Looney.
There it is. Mhm.
All right, you guys, man.
Bing bong.
It's been fun. To get us all together again. We're not gonna go as long without doing a pod. We'll probably do a post finals. We got free agency coming up. We got draft. So you'll be hearing a lot more from us, man. So thank you for waiting, being patient, riding it out. We appreciate you guys. So with that being said, we are gonna sign off. We got Bruce Jackson in the house, Millionaire Sano, Charlie Hustle.
Millie Gus.
Shout out to our producer Nolan, Third Wheel Podcast Studio.
Third wheel.
Oh, one little more shout out. Should we be doing this podcast with my man Jaquay? He shouted us out, shouted BTST out on his podcast. Got to do the same for him. So, Big Quay, appreciate you showing love. So, with Bruce, Sano, Charlie, Adam, BTST, signing out.